It's time. It's fucking time for the NBA playoffs. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. I also do a bunch of other stuff. All these videos get posted on this subreddit right here called DF Sports. My username is Shook. You can find my posts. I make updates with all the news that comes out, stuff like that. You can talk strategy here. You can ask me questions. I know a lot of you were gone for the end of the regular season because it's absolute chaos. But oh baby, we're back. It's gonna be amazing. I don't know if you guys don't know, but last year in the playoffs we absolutely nuked pretty much every slate. Um, it's going to be great. And then also, if you're interested in private, my Discord, I'll have a link to that down below where I have in-depth player pools, cash plays, GPP plays. I give you a core of 4 players to play, a bunch of other stuff. I also cover the XFL. I just do a whole bunch of other stuff, like a sneak preview you can get. It's just I make so many updates. I make player pools, post a bunch of info, stuff. It's just great. And then I do that for XFL as well. We absolutely nuked the XFL slate this weekend. $100 into 3,000, $300 into 3,000, $40 into 120, 160 into 400. It's just been absolutely nuking. So let's go over my lineups from the past few days. I know I've been gone for the end of the regular season, so like I said, we'll go over some XFL stuff. We will go over my NBA lineups from the last few days. And where is my main lineup from the other day? Is it not here? Here it is, I believe. Yep. Okay, so let's go over non-NBA stuff. So I big Call of Duty. So that was great. That was yesterday. XFL cash games went very, very well. We are 6-2 on the season for cash games. This was my NBA lineup, I believe, from 2 days ago. Absolutely nuked. This is my lineup from 3 days ago. Absolutely nuked. And then the last slate of the season, the one with the biggest edge, I don't cash. And I'm so dumb. So I knew that Memphis and the Oklahoma City Thunder were only going to run 6-man rotations. And I told everyone in Discord to absolutely nuke the Grizzlies and the Thunder. Like, get to as many as you possibly can. Unfortunately, I made a mistake, and I had too many early guys. But the core that I had today was Cam Thomas, nuke, Daron Sharp, nuke. Who else was a core play for me? Brandon Ingram was also a core play for me. He nuked, and Kenny Lofton Jr. was a core play for me. He absolutely nuked. We also had some big days for NBA as well. Missed the main slate. I got off Ingram, but he was a core play. Just unfortunate. I went to Trey Mann over Ingram, so I guess it doesn't hurt as much. He basically scored the same amount of fantasy points as Ingram. And this was a slate that you could have left. I left like a ton of salary, as you can see. Just an absolute boatload of salary I left. All right. Let's get into it. Atlanta at Miami. So, if you want to take a screenshot of this, this is what I think the rotation will be like and the players in the rotation. So, I know what's going to happen with Atlanta. Those are going to be the players in the rotation for Atlanta. The Miami Heat, I don't know if Zeller is going to be in the rotation. I know Love will. They could go Love backup 5 plus 4, or they could go Zeller backup 5. And then Timberwolves, these guys will be in the rotation, and then they'll either go to Nathan Knight or Luka Garza. And then the Lakers, possibly Rui, possibly Gabriel, but I'm pretty confident in the rest of those guys. So let's go over Atlanta. So I think something very, very important to notice here is Trae Young during the regular season, he was not playing big minutes. As you can see, he was playing low 30s minutes here. And in the play-in, it's very, very important to understand that these games are basically a game 7, right? You're playing one game, it's a game 7. You're going to see extremely, extremely tight rotations, 8-man rotations. You're going to see starters play absolutely massive minutes. You're going to see Trey play north of 40. DeJounte Murray was already playing about 40, but you might see over 40 for him. You're just going to see tight rotations. So projections will probably bake this in, obviously, because during the regular season he wasn't playing over north of 35 minutes. But now, for the playing game, you're probably going to see like 42, 43 minutes from these guys. So that's something you need to understand. Same with like Jimmy Butler. He wasn't playing huge minutes. So it's going to depend on if the field recognizes that or not. But Trae Young absolutely struggled last year against Miami Heat. I have no issue with that at all. I don't care about recency bias. You also have to factor in that he's going to be playing about 10 more minutes than he usually did during the regular season. So that boosts him even more. So I still like Trae Young at the top at 10K. I think some other spend ups I do like more, but I still think he looks good. DeJounte Murray, like I said, was already playing huge minutes. At this price point, I think I'd much rather go to Trae Young, but I still think he's firmly in play. I like Clint Capella quite a bit. I think you might get a minutes bump here from him to from 28, 29 to like 33. And if that's the case, I do like him at 6'2". He would be too cheap. He's like a 1.2 fantasy point per minute guy. So if you give him like 32, 33 minutes, he's probably going to pay off this price tag. So I do like Clint Capella. Sneak Bay, I don't have too much interest in at this price tag. I think it's just too expensive. John Collins at 5'3", I think seems like a pretty safe play to me. I think we get around, 30 minutes for him, 25, 30 minutes for John Collins. You won't see like huge minutes for him, but he seems like a pretty safe play to me at that price. Bog, kind of a guy that's going to come off the bench and just absolutely shoot the ball a ton of times. So he does have a ceiling. He also does have a low floor. Also, I think we only get like 22, 25 minutes from him, so it definitely makes him a bit riskier, and I think the price tag is right. But on a 2-game slate, he does have the ceiling to break the slate at this price tag, so I do have some interest in Bog for GPPs. Okongwu will get the backup 5. I would just much rather go to Clint Capella, but Okongwu still is in play. I think Hunter's a solid value of 4.9. I think we get over 30 minutes from him. Guy that can pretty much do a little bit of everything. Good defender, can get those blocks, steals, stuff like that. So I think he's solid for value. And then I don't think, like I said, I don't think anyone else will be in the rotation. It's just going to be those guys. Hunter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's just going to be these top 8 guys, in my opinion. On to Miami. So, same thing I said about Trae Young. Jimmy Butler does not play big minutes in the regular season. I think you get close to 42 minutes here for Jimothy Butler. I think he looks phenomenal in a good matchup. I absolutely love Jimmy Butler. He's probably my favorite spend up on the slate. Maybe Cat, but he looks absolutely phenomenal to me. He absolutely nukes the playoffs. I think he's just going to absolutely nuke Atlanta here. He looks amazing. Bam Adebayo sub 8K is definitely intriguing as well. Don't hate the matchup either. I think I'd much prefer getting Jimmy Butler, but I think he looks solid. Tyler Herro at 6'8", I think is a solid play as well. I think we get massive minutes for him as well. He's going to handle the ball a decent amount. Yeah, I think all 3 of the top guys here look good for Miami. Jimmy Butler being the absolute standout to me. Strus is overpriced. Caleb Martin's overpriced. Like I said, I don't know if we see Cody Zeller here. I mean, if we do, I think he's overpriced. I think there are different backup centers I'd rather take a shot on, like a Luka Garza or a Nathan Knight being a better example of that. So I don't think I'd get to Zeller. Now, if we get a situation where Kevin Love gets all of the backup 5 and some 4 run, then I think he's interesting at 4.7. I don't think anyone's going to play him tomorrow, so I think Kevin Love's a sneaky value and just pray he gets backup 5 run. And then you guys are going to hate me for this, but I kind of like Kyle Lowry for value. He's going to be in the rotation. I think we get, around 20 minutes for him. I mean, I know he's been bad, but we are struggling for value here. So, I think Kyle Lowry's solid. I think Gabe Vincent's okay. I think we get like around 20 minutes for him as well. 25. I'm not sure, honestly, but I think I'd much rather go to Kyle Lowry. He's just a better point per minute guy between the two. All right, let's go over to Minnesota. So, starting lineup for Minnesota is going to be Ant, Cat, Slow-Mo, Conley, Prince. So that'll be the starting lineup. Like I said before, you're going to see huge minutes for these guys. Cat wasn't playing big minutes before, but I think we get over 40 for him. Ant was already playing huge minutes, so he doesn't really get a big bump in minutes. I think Slow-Mo is going to play all the minutes he can handle here, and Conley too. I think he just plays a ton, maybe like 35, 36. And like I said, if you wanted to take a screenshot here, you're probably going to see NAW, McLaughlin, and then one of Knight or Garza. So I think Cat is going to start the 5 and looks absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love Cat here. He's probably my second favorite spend up on the slate. Him, Butler, 1A, 1B on the slate. His usage at the 5 is just much, much different at the 4. So I think Cat looks great. I think Ant looks very good in a phenomenal matchup against the Lakers. You guys know I've always been wanting to target guards against the Lakers. Sign me up for both of those guys. I like Slow-Mo even at 7,600. We saw when one of Cat, one of Gobert was out this season. Slow-Mo had a very big role in this team. I think we get massive minutes for him. Has triple-double upside too. He's just a guy that can do everything. I still think even at this price tag, he's solid. Mike Conley's playable. And then Taurean Prince, I think you get big, big, big minutes for him. I think he's solid even at 5'6". I know that sounds gross, but think he's solid. This grouping of, like I said, NAW, McLaughlin, and then one of Knight or Garza. If you want to take a shot on like Knight, Garza, be my guest. I don't know which one will get the backup 5, but they could pay off the price tag if one of them does. Large field tournament play for me. And then if I were to take a shot on like one of NAW or McLaughlin, I think NAW has the higher ceiling. Between the two, I think we get like low teens minutes for him. I think McLaughlin plays a little bit more and is safer, but is the worst point per minute guy. So up to you on what you want to do there, but I think both are in play for value. Lakers. So like I said, you're going to see AD, LeBron, D'Lo, Reeves, Schroeder, Beasley, Vandy, Troy Brown. I don't know if we see Rui or Gabriel. So you're probably going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these 8 guys that I feel pretty confident in. So I think AD and LeBron are the tournament plays. Tournament spend-ups on the slate. Everyone's going to go to Butler. Everyone's going to go to Ant. Everyone's going to go to Cat. That's going to leave AD and LeBron unowned on a 2-game slate in a super fast-paced matchup. So I think for GPPs, they both look good. D'Lo at 7.2 I think is priced about right, but is still fine. Not going to get to Reeves at that price. Not going to get to Schroeder at that price. I think if Schroeder's out, opens up more minutes for Beasley, and then I think Beasley would be solid value. Vanderbilt, I think we get around 20 minutes for him. Good point per minute guy. I think he's interesting for value, too solid. And then Troy Brown, low usage guy, I think we get around 20 minutes for him. He's playable. So that's going to wrap up the slate. Hope you guys enjoyed your last regular season day, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow. I'm fucking excited.